Alright guys, this is Mintyvideos1 and today I'm going to be showing you how to change the silencer on your motorbike. Okay, parts of the silencer. We have the silencer's body, we have its baffle, we have the supporting bracket, which as you can see is attached to this bracket here, which is attached to the frame of the motorcycle. If your bike is suited for a passenger, this will more than likely be where the passenger footbag is, and as we can see it is attached to just a very simple bolt here. The silencer itself is held onto this flange by several bolts. Depending on the make and model of your bike, depends on what type of bolt and how many of them there are. Mine is 3 simple hex keys based at 120 degrees, which are about 20 millimeters long. They just hold the silencer onto this flange here where the gas passes into it. The baffle is there to restrict the amount of sound waves exiting the silencer, which keeps them inside the silencer for long so that they can lose their energy before exiting, resulting in a quieter sound. When it comes to removing the silencer, we will remove these bolts here before we touch this bracket so that the weight of the silencer does not bend down on this pipe or on indeed the bolts themselves, making them harder to come out should they bend. Okay guys, now we can concentrate on actually getting the silencer off. Tools you'll need are hex keys. These come in a variety of sizes in AF, American Fine or metric. The majority of stuff on Honda bikes is metric, but you will find the occasional AF piece fitting better. These will be used on the bolts here, which have a hex head. Yours might not, so it all depends on the make and model of your bike. Socket sets. These are good on bolts such as these. This just makes it easier and quicker to get off. And obviously spanner set to hold the nut on the other side so it will come off. If you are serious about doing your own bike work, then it is worth buying your own set of stuff. I mean, this lot cost me about 60 quid, which, let's face it, in the grand scheme of things isn't very expensive, and it just makes work so much easier. Okay, so actually getting this off. Well, I've taken 2 of these hex key bolts out already to save time for the video, so I'll just take this remaining one out, which I think it's a 5.5, so these will be quite stiff if you haven't tried taking it off before, because over the time they will just sort of seize up a bit. Heat doesn't help that, so if you are struggling, use some WD-40, leave it to soak in, put it up on a paddock stand like this. If you haven't got a paddock stand, then buy one. They're the best thing in the world for working on bikes. And then you can put as much pressure behind it as you want without fear of rocking the bike. So this last bolt is just about coming off now. Just a few more turns and that'll be out. These can be quite awkward to get off if there's bolts in around tight corners and out of sight. Okay, so that's that last bolt off, so as you can see that's fairly loose now. So what we need now is we need a socket on this side and a spanner on this side. So I think that was a 12mm socket with about with a with a 13mm spanner on the other side. It is literally a case of just slowly loosening off that bolt through there. Now it is worth, when it's able to unscrew the nut by hand so that you can keep the bolt holding the silencer up, so you can take it off yourself without dropping it and scratching and denting it should you want to keep it. That's the nut off. Okay. And we'll just take this bolt out now. Okay guys, so now we can look at actually fitting the silencer that we've bought, the aftermarket one. So, here the one I've chosen is, it's a fully stainless steel body with stainless steel mesh on the inside as a silencing agent. It's got a fully removable baffle should I want a louder sound, and as you can see it fits on exactly the same way that the stock can fit. Now all we do to fit this is we do the exact same that we did to take the stock silencer off, except in reverse. So we just place it in position and we hand tighten everything. The reason we only hand tighten this for the moment is that with hand tightening there's enough leeway that we can make adjustments to make sure that everything is in alignment, which will ultimately save us time if something wasn't. Just gives us those few millimeters that we might need. Okay, so these are going on. They all look to be pretty much in alignment. Yep, those are all aligned, so I'll see you in a minute when these are all hand tightened. Okay guys, now that these are all hand tightened, we can just tighten them up by a tool so that they're fully tightened on, and then that'll be it. The silencer will be fitted. So remember, if we do everything in reverse, it means that we tighten the bracket first. So what was it? It was a 12mm socket on this one and a 13 on the other. Okay, so that is now completely tight, and now it is just simply a case of tightening these up. Now, regarding the fittings of an aftermarket exhaust you buy will depend entirely on the make and model of your bike and the manufacturer of the silencer. Mine is, instead of just 3 simple hex key bolts, it has nuts now. Originally it was just the bolt which went and stayed within the silencer. The company that made my exhaust have put nuts on the end of it, so it was a 4mm hex key with 10 and 8. Like I said earlier, you will find some American fine fitting slightly better. Now I know just through fitting this beforehand that one of these nuts fits a 3/8 inch American fine spanner better than it does a 10mm metric. So I'll see you when these are fully tightened. Okay guys, that is the silencer fully fitted. Once you've done that, it's fully operational. You know, you can go out and have a ride with your new silencer on. Personally, I reckon this one looks really nice. It's, you know, it's a MotoGP rep, so I reckon it looks pretty nice. It's a lot louder than a standard camber. That's to be expected. You know, it's pretty much a straight pipe. Be careful with local and nationwide noise regulations, especially in the States. There are, you know, different states have different noise regulations, and you know, certain cans won't be suitable. You know, if you're in the UK, check if you're buying a can from Yoshimura USA or from Japan. Other than that, it's fine. I'll just give you a quick demo of what it sounds like with the baffle in and with the baffle out. So, this with the baffle in. And then if I just take the baffle out quickly. Make sure you watch my next video on how to do this, by the way. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to take a baffle out of an exhaust silencer. It is a very simple process. Okay, so this is with the baffle out. Now this is going to be a lot louder. Okay guys, so that's that. Thank you for watching my video on how to change a exhaust silencer on a motorbike. Hopefully you enjoyed it, so subscribe, comment, any suggestions for future videos, then I'm more than welcome to them. Okay guys, thanks for watching Mintyvideos1.